Great to see you here, and I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're talking about all the apps I use in a day. So without further ado, let's get started. So right at 6:30, I wake up to the trustworthy alarm clock. It's always on time, and that is the very first app I use in a day. Once I turn the alarm off, I go straight to brush my teeth and do all my business. And within this time frame, I actually don't listen to any music. I'm trying to keep my morning as peaceful as possible because the next thing I do is meditation. I usually go for a 30-minute session meditation. It used to be 40 minutes and now it's kind of cut down to 30 minutes. I might bring it back up to 40 minutes again, but we'll see how things turn out. So that is why I try to refrain myself from opening up other apps to distract my mind before I go into my meditation session. And right there, I'll use the timer app on the iPhone with the do not disturb on. So after my 30 minutes meditation, I'll either go for a run or just exercise at home. It really depends on the day. I try to rotate different exercise every day. So if I go out for a run, I'll use the Nike Run Club, which I started to use recently to track my pace and my distance. So far, I really like the app's interface. It's very easy to use. And I also have the widgets on my phone, so I can just tap start and start right away. Now, if I'm staying at home, I'll most likely be doing a HIIT workout. But either way, when I'm exercising, I'll have my Spotify out, either to listen to music or have a podcast on. And this morning, I just listened to the Maddie and Pete show. Usually I'll have like For Your Innovation from ARK Invest as well. Usually I'll just listen to the most recent podcast on here. So right after my exercise, I'll go to my Sorted app, and this is kind of like a to-do list for the day. And I pretty much use this app to organize my day. So I have like routine stuff every day as well as things I have to do for that day. The app itself is very smart, and I feel like this app probably deserves its own video, maybe in the future, but it's very unique and powerful. So what I'll do here is to check out the things that I've done so far and just kind of browse through it and remind me what I have to do for the day. So this is usually around 8:15, and that's when I make my breakfast and brew my favorite tea, which is the High Mountain tea from Taiwan. And if you have been watching this channel lately, you know I usually post my video around 8 a.m. and that is in Central Time. So usually I'll be brewing my tea and have the YouTube Studio app out just to read the comments and respond to them. So if you comment on my video in the very first 30 minutes to an hour, I'll be on there responding to you, or just have a chat, have a conversation there. So be sure to have your notification bell on so we can interact on there. So while having breakfast, I'll go through the preview app and see if I have any content to post that day. If I do, I'll go ahead and post it on Instagram and close Instagram right away. And this goes the same with TikTok. I'll post on there and I'll leave the app alone. Now I do this because I saw someone quite reputable saying that once you post on Instagram and TikTok, and if you leave the app alone, it'll actually push your content out more, and it'll be better for the algorithm as well because they actually want you to come back to the app, so they want to push your content. And once you see your content reach more likes and stuff like that, you'll want to come back to the app. At first I thought it makes sense, and it actually worked for me on TikTok a few times, but after trying it out for many times, I realized that that's actually not the case. However, having the habit of just turning off my social media right after I post, it's actually quite beneficial. This allows me to be more focused on what I'm doing, which is having breakfast and enjoying my tea. So after I finish my breakfast around 8:30 to 8:45-ish, it really depends on how long was my exercise for the day. I'll swipe over to the second page of my phone to check the stock market. The first widget I see on that page is from Weibo, and over here I can have like a good overview throughout the days on the stock market. And I'll just click into Weibo to see if there's any big changes during the pre-market, or to check up on the limit order I have placed on there. Once I exit out of Weibo, I'll usually go to M1 Finance or go to Robinhood. I don't usually check M1 Finance that often because I use it for long-term investments. And as for Robinhood, I've been using it for more than 2 years now, but recently I actually moved most of my holdings into Weibo because they're just not cool anymore. And if you know, you know. And honestly, there are so many more functions on Weibo. They have all these different charts and indicators that you can use on the app as well as on the computer. And this way, I don't have to go back and forth from TradingView to Weibo all the time. So this actually makes life easier. And the next app I would check is Public. This is more like a social investing platform where you can share your investment ideas or questions. And there are actually pretty nice people out there answering your questions. And overall, the community's been pretty great so far. So if you're on there, definitely swing by and say hi. Now after I check the stock market, I'll go into the TradingView widget to see the price movement on cryptocurrencies. I'll look into it and try to get the dip from either Gemini or crypto.com. That's the two platforms I use to purchase cryptocurrency. And so far I have to say it's probably way better than the stock market. And that is just my personal opinion and experience, not financial advice at all. But I definitely made more on cryptocurrencies than the stock market for sure. Again, this is not financial advice. It's just my personal experience and what I've been through. Now after checking all of my investments, I'll go back to the Sorted app and try to tackle down the to-do list one by one. And this usually includes editing photos as well as videos. And usually I'll be working on my computer, but from time to time I'll actually take some break and check the Photos app to see if there's any photos that I have taken recently. This could be the behind the scene of any videos or different products or just interesting stuff that I've snapped throughout the days. And I'll choose a few photos and upload them to Lightroom Mobile, start editing them on there. And this is the app I use the most to edit photos on the phone, and then after I finish editing them, I'll post either on Instagram stories or send it out as a tweet. By the way, I do have a Twitter account and I've been trying to be more active on there. Once in a while, I'll upload the photos into VSCO app instead of Lightroom just to try out the filters in there. I used to use the VSCO app all the time back in the days, but I don't use it as often anymore. But once in a while, I just like to go back and check out their filters to have more inspiration on my Lightroom presets. And then after I post the story on Instagram and Twitter, I'll come back to work again. So generally, I try not to stay on social media platforms that long in the morning because I feel like that's when I'm most awake and productive. So I don't want to waste too much time on that instead of my work. And then right before I go to lunch, that's when I start browsing through my social media apps such as Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube. But I try to stay focused on learning and getting inspiration from other people's work. And this way, it'll keep myself more mindful on the content that I'm consuming. So I'll be constantly thinking, okay, so if this is a trend, then where is this going to, or where it might go to? Or it's a photo, I'll constantly be thinking, how did he take the shot? And if it's a YouTube video, I'll try to analyze the way people edit as well as different contents that they put in the front of the video or in the end of the video. Just different formats they're doing. Different artists has different style. Now don't get me wrong, I still really enjoy watching people's content and admire people's work on there. But I guess as time goes by, for me this is like an automatic reaction towards different people's content and work. And that's usually when I try to jot down ideas and inspirations from watching other people's content. And the app I use to organize all these inspiration and thoughts into videos is Notion. And then I'll open up the Notion's app and start jotting down all these different ideas that goes through my mind and finally turn them into videos like this that you're watching right now. I keep all of the notes in there as well as different collaborations from different companies. I also have a list of artists from SoundCloud that I used to use their music because I would embed their SoundCloud account and credit them under my video. Okay, after the lunch, this is when either I'll be shooting my YouTube videos or I'll actually go out for a photo shoot or film a video. And of course, all of these might varies. It might happen in the morning, way early in the morning, or in the afternoon, because generally that's when the lighting is better, but it really depends on the day. So if I do have to go out for a shoot, I'll be using Google Map or Apple Map. I've been trying to decide which I would like better, but yeah, which one do you guys like better? I haven't really decided yet, so I have both of them on my phone, but eventually I think I'll get rid of one of them. And while I'm driving, I'll usually have a podcast on or just simply listen to music from Spotify. Because the average commute time in Houston, it's usually around 30 minutes, so it's actually quite long. Okay, so if I don't have to go out for work that day, I'll either be here filming a YouTube video like this, or just doing more editings. And in between edits, I'll actually take more breaks. I think I also mentioned that on my Instagram as well. Those B-roll shots that you guys seen on TikTok and Instagram, that's when I take breaks from editing and I just like do random stuff and I'll film them and then just edit them together. And I find it really helpful to just take some time off from editing, take a break, and just do something else. This way it actually makes the juices to flow better, in my opinion. So for these short videos, I usually use Snapseed, PixArt, VN Editor app, as well as CapCut. So Snapseed Snapseed and PixArt are both for photos. I believe Snapseed is made by Google and it's really underrated. It's really powerful. Overall, the interface is really clean and you can do a whole lot with the app by itself. Now, as for PixArt, it's a very fancy app where you can add a lot of different effects to your photos. So I've been making a lot of short photo tutorials with these two apps because they're both really powerful and all you need is your phone. You don't need fancy cameras, fancy editing softwares in order to achieve very interesting effects on your photos. All you need is your phone and a little bit of creativity in order to make a really interesting photo. Now, as for CapCut and VN Editor app, I've been using these two softwares a lot on my YouTube channel as well, where I'll link the videos on the site over here for you to check them out if you haven't already. And yes, all four of these apps are free. I believe you can actually pay a monthly fee for PixArt to unlock more features, but personally I haven't paid anything yet and it's already really fun to use. So during the break, I'll just go into these apps just to play around with the settings as well as the effects. This way I'll have a better idea of what kind of photos or what kind of tutorial I can make for you guys. Now, if I don't have any B-roll ideas or those short tutorial videos that I've been making, I'll actually read Buddhism related books or articles as my break. And whenever I find a good verse or important ideas that I need to jot down or just anything that I think it's important, I usually jot them down on my Notes app. And I feel like the default Note app on Apple is pretty underrated because it's actually quite useful. And I'll be checking on the stock market again 30 minutes before it's closing, as well as cryptocurrencies. So after dinner around 7:30, I'll hop on a Zoom meeting for a group meditation followed by a Dharma talk because the Zen center that I used to go to is closed due to so everything is switched to online, and this includes the meditation guidance as well as the Dharma talk from the abbot of the Zen center that I go to. And yes, these are actual monks. Now, if there's no Zoom meetings that day, I'll most likely be watching some TVs with my families or just play video games on my phone. Pretty much the only game I play right now is called Arena of Valor. It's kind of like League, but the mobile version. And then again, I'll be checking on my cryptocurrencies because it's actually 24/7. So it's constantly changing. Now that I think about it, I probably check more on crypto than any of the social media that I'm using. I'll also hop on the Sorted app to see if there's anything that I didn't finish that day and if I can move it till the next day or if I can just finish it on the day off. And once I'm done with everything, I'll just turn everything off in the office and go to bed with my phone. I don't even use my phone on the bed, I'll just go straight to sleep. Because I actually find it uncomfortable using smart devices, either phone, iPad, or my computer on the bed. I don't know, I just don't like it. It just feels weird and awkward for me. So whenever I go to the bedroom, I just sleep. So that is all the apps I use throughout the days, just trying to be more productive and finish all my tasks. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell on your way out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.